Michael Beale doesn't think Rangers can compete financially with Celtic. Jim Goodwin takes charge of his first job at Dundee United against his former club Aberdeen. And Celtic take on the only team so far that has defeated them this season domestically. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football, here to preview a great weekend's action in the Scottish divisions. Well, I say great. I'm hoping it's great. Everything's set up for it to be great. We've got a lot of big games that we want to talk about, especially in the Scottish Premiership. But before we get to them, we will start in the lower leagues. We'll start in League 2 and we'll have a quick look at the Scottish League 2 table. So at the moment, you can see Dumbarton are ahead, 25 games played, 50 points. They have a 5-point lead over Stirling Albion. However, Stirling Albion do have 2 games in hand. So if Stirling Albion win their 2 games in hand, they could go top of League 2. But it is pretty close for the playoff spots. I mean, it is very close. Even Bonnyrigg Rose, who are currently last, they're only 11 points off a potential playoff spot now. Yeah, totally. It's unlikely that they could get one, but I wouldn't exactly rule them out. You've got Albion Rovers just 3 points above the relegation spot. And then if you look from Annan Athletic in third with 37 points all the way down to Stranraer in 8th, it's only 5 points separating these 6 sides. So could be very close, and there's going to be some disappointed teams that are missing out come the end of the season. But if we look at the fixtures then for this weekend, we've got Annan Athletic taking on Stenhousemuir. I'm probably going to go for an Annan Athletic win in that one. East Fife versus Forfar Athletic. I'm going to go for Forfar with the away win. Elgin City taking on Bonnyrigg Rose. I think Bonnyrigg Rose need a win, and I don't think they'll get one, but I'll go with a draw. I think Bonnyrigg Rose perhaps could get a draw at that one. Stirling Albion, I'm going to go for a home win. I think Stirling Albion will have too much for Albion Rovers. And Stranraer against Dumbarton. I'm going to go with Stranraer. I think Stranraer... Well, I know I'll go a draw. I think a draw. We'll go with a draw on that one. Stranraer and Dumbarton, I think, will probably share the spoils in that one. A point apiece, so to speak. So that's my predictions for League 2. Moving on to League 1. As you can see in the table, Dunfermline with a 5-point gap over Falkirk. I still stand by my prediction. I still think Falkirk might catch Dunfermline. I do. I think Falkirk have the better form. I believe they have still to play Dunfermline twice. And I think if they can even beat them one of those times and bring the gap down to 2 points, then I do think Falkirk might actually pip Dunfermline to the title. Either way, though, I do expect it to be close. Now, FC Edinburgh were also in this battle earlier in the season, but they've kind of dropped out of that now. And if they're not careful, they might even drop out of the playoff spots because they're not that far ahead. They're level on points with Alloa. They're only 2 points in front of Airdrieonians. Big shout out to Airdrieonians. Grew up in Airdrie, by the way, so yeah, I guess like they're my local team, so to speak. So, or my second team, or well, not really my second team. It's just some shithole where I lived for a bit. But anyway, still. Shout out to Airdrieonians. If they come up, then, it'd be nice to see them in the Championship, I guess. Decent stadium as well. I've actually been to the Airdrie Stadium a few times. Not for footballing purposes, more for, funerals and shit like that. But, yeah, Airdrie. Shout out to Airdrie. Anyway, that's how the league table looks. Peterhead having a disastrous season, as are Clyde. Whichever one of them go down, I think it will be well deserved. And who knows, the way they're playing, it could be both. Even no matter who finishes in the relegation playoff spot, I would not favour them at the moment because they absolutely suck. Let's be honest. They're not good. The Queen of the South are safe. As we know, Marvin Bartley took over them about a month ago. He did get, I believe, 2 wins when he came in, but since then he's followed up with 2 defeats, but they're kind of in no man's land at the moment. They're 8 points off a push for promotion. But yeah, look how far 8th place Queen of the South are ahead of Clyde, man. So That is crazy how cut off Clyde and Peterhead are in this League One. But let's move on to the games then. We've got Dunfermline versus Alloa Athletic. I'm going to go for a Dunfermline win. Falkirk versus Peterhead. Easy Falkirk win for me. Kelty Hearts versus FC Edinburgh. I'm going to go with a draw in that one. I do think FC Edinburgh will get something out of that. Montrose versus Clyde. I'm going to go for a Montrose win. And Queen of the South versus Airdrieonians. You know what? I'm going to go for Airdrieonians. I'm going to go for the away win. And I think if Airdrie do win that game, they might just start to pile a wee bit of pressure on Marvin Bartley's Queen of the South. No one's expecting them to really, do anything this season. But still, 3 defeats on the bounce is never a good thing. So that's my prediction, guys, for League One. Let's move on to the Championship table now. And it might be a surprise to some that Queen's Park are leading the Championship, but they've put a lot of investment into Queen's Park. They've had 2 back-to-back promotions, and the way things are going right now, it does look like they're going to make it free. They're 4 points ahead of Dundee. Now, the form for both of them is a little bit ropey, let's be real. I mean, none of them are in great form. It's not like they're winning week in, week out. So I would say that Queen's Park are nowhere near secure at the top. It only takes a couple of weeks, and for all we know, the lead could change hands. But they do have a 4-point gap, and they will try to hold on to that, obviously. In terms of the teams that are pushing Dundee and Queen's Park, I mean, it's very close behind them. You've got Ayr United, Greenock Morton, Partick Thistle, all on 40 points. At the start of the season, I predicted Partick Thistle to win the Championship, and you know what? I wouldn't necessarily rule them out. They're only 7 points behind Queen's Park, and they've actually started playing pretty well since Chris Doolan came in and took charge. So I don't think Partick Thistle are out of it by any means. Greenock Morton also finding a little bit of form. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens here. But I still think I'd say the top 5 here can realistically win this championship. It is pretty close. And also, down at the bottom, it's close as well. We have Cove Rangers, Hamilton, and Arbroath, all separated by 2 points. Now, Hamilton and Arbroath did play tonight in a championship relegation battle. It did finish 0-0, pretty boring game, but Dick Campbell did get sent off, so that was like the bright spark of the match. And Dick Campbell, what a character. I still think it's sad that he couldn't get Arbroath promoted last season. I mean, I don't believe they would have done anything really in the Premiership. I think they would have been straight back down. I think Arbroath could have possibly secured the lowest points tally in a top flight division ever. Now, I'm not sure what it is, but at least, let's say, in my generation, I do think Arbroath could have set record numbers if they got promoted, but it would have been so nice just to see them, just to see Dick Campbell. He's a character. So yeah, I was kind of gutted Arbroath didn't go up last season. I do hope they stay up this season in the Championship. It's going to be difficult though, because, of course, there's only realistically 2 teams they can catch. I don't think they will make any ground on Inverness, who are currently 9 points ahead with a game in hand. So Cove Rangers and Hamilton are the 2 teams they're trying to chase. And speaking of Hamilton, I mean, it's crazy to think that, well, it was only a couple of seasons ago Hamilton were in the top flight, and if they're not careful, they could start next season in League One. And it's strange, but then again, look at Falkirk, look at Dunfermline. I bet you those sides didn't think they would find themselves in League One. And it's Scottish football. I mean, there's just no guarantee. We recently heard Dundee United owner come out and say it doesn't matter if Dundee United get relegated because they'll just come straight back up. But I mean, we've seen that's not necessarily the case. I mean, there's a lot of teams that are in the Championship here. There's a lot of teams that are in League One that have been in the Premiership, and once they go down, they do struggle to get back up. So, yeah, I'm not convinced it's that easy. So, we'll see what happens, though, come the end of the season. As for the Championship games, on Saturday, like I said, we've got the 0-0 draw between Hamilton and Arbroath. We've got Ayr United taking on Inverness Caledonian Thistle. I'm going to go for an Ayr United win in that one. Cove Rangers versus Dundee. Dundee's form's ropey. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I think Cove Rangers might get a draw in that one. I'm going to go for Partick Thistle to beat Raith Rovers and a big clash between Queen's Park and Greenock Morton. I feel like if Queen's Park win that, they could be knocking Greenock Morton out of a potential title chase. But if Greenock Morton beat Queen's Park, then that just blows everything wide open. It really does. I'm going to go with a draw, though. I'm going to say a draw in that one. So I'm going to go Queen's Park. I'll go 1-1. No, wait, I'll go 2-2. I'll go 2-2 Queen's Park. I think Greenock Morton have been scoring goals as of late. Big shout out to Chris's Morton's TV, by the way. If you're not following him, then yeah, go and hit that guy with a subscription. But now we move on to the Scottish Premiership, the big league, the league that matters. Let's call it that. First thing that sticks out is the form of the Old Firm. Both, 100% record in the last 5 games. Rangers have been damn near perfect since Michael Beale came in the league. They've only dropped 2 points, and of course it was against Celtic. Same for Ange Postecoglou. They've been perfect ever since losing to St Mirren. Apart from that, obviously, draw against Rangers. So both the Old Firm sides are winning. They're doing their job. Celtic, though, if you look at the goal difference, they're close to like double the goal difference that Rangers have. So, I mean, that's going to be an extra point. That essentially puts things at 10 points. The league is over. Look, you can say what you want, man. The league's done. If anything, I do believe the gap will get slightly bigger towards the end of the season. If I had to make a prediction right here about the points tally at the end, the difference between Celtic and Rangers, I would say around 15 points. I do think Celtic will extend that gap. So I'm going to say about 14, 15. That's what I think it will end up. But maybe the more interesting battles could be behind the Old Firm. Because Hearts, who we all thought had third place wrapped up, and let's be honest, I still think they do have third place secured. But, I mean, let's be real, Hibernian all of a sudden finding some form. They've been picking up wins, and they've closed the gap down to Hearts, who have struggled a little bit as of late, down to 5 points. So that is massive. And Hibernian now also have a positive goal difference. I mean, for most of the season, the only 3 teams with a positive goal difference were Celtic, Rangers, and Hearts. But yeah, now Hibernian are right up there, and they've got a positive goal difference, which is kind of weird that only 4 teams in the league have a positive goal difference. I guess that says more about how dominant the Old Firm are than anything else. But yeah, Hibs are chasing down Hearts for third place. We also have St Mirren in there, Aberdeen, Livingston. It's going to be tight. One of those teams have to miss out on a top 6 finish. I hope it's not Livingston, for the simple fact is I thought they were really unlucky last year. I like Davy Martindale, again, another good character. Livy do need the money. For a top 6 finish for Livy, it would mean a lot. I'm obviously Aberdeen, big club, they need to be finishing in the top 6, but financially, if Aberdeen finish 7th, it's not going to cripple them. And I'm not saying it would cripple Livy, but Livy would definitely, they would notice the money more. So I kind of hope Livy do make it into the top 6 there, because I think they deserved it last season. They didn't get it, so maybe they could get it this season. But yeah, down the bottom, just like I said, Celtic and Rangers have been winning non-stop recently. Dundee United have been losing non-stop recently, but will that change with the newly appointed Jim Goodwin in charge? A massive game when he takes on Aberdeen, his former club. Let's be real, those Aberdeen players downed tools. They got him fired in that 6-0 defeat against Hibernian. I mean, what a fairy tale story this could be for Jim Goodwin. He turns up and he smashes his former club and he gets one over on them. He gets the last laugh. So that's going to be a massive game when Dundee United take on Aberdeen. in the new form derby. We also have Rangers taking on Kilmarnock. Like I said, Kilmarnock's away form, really, really poor. I do think Rangers will win that. Celtic will be looking for revenge when they take on St Mirren. St Mirren, the only team to beat them in the league. And if we're being honest, St Mirren deserved that win. It's not like St Mirren fluked it that day. Celtic really weren't that great, and St Mirren 100% deserved the win. So can they repeat that? I mean, who knows? St Mirren having a great season, up in 5th place. They'll be looking to pick up something. You know, they're trying to make a push for those European spots. So it's a big game for both teams. And obviously Celtic will not want to drop points. As good as they've been, they will not want that gap to get any smaller. And it would be a moral victory for Rangers if the gap does indeed go down to, let's say, 7 points or 6 points, because he'd have to view that as a win for Michael Beale. He's not dropped any points to Celtic since he's been here. So Celtic are the first team to drop points then. You know, I'm sure that would give Beale and Rangers a lot of confidence. But we will look at the fixtures then. I will give my predictions. First up, we have Hearts and St Johnstone. Feel like St Johnstone are sort of like in a purgatory at the moment. You know, they're not really going anywhere. They can't they could, but I don't think they will, you know, make a push for top 6. And they're probably not going to get pulled into a relegation battle either. So St Johnstone, I would say they're the only team that really kind of have nothing to play for in the league. And I don't think that helps you at this stage. Normally, you want to be in some sort of battle, whether it's a title battle, whether it's a push for the European spots, push for the top 6, or, you know, whether it's the relegation battle. But St Johnstone kind of find themselves in no battle at the moment, and I think they'll find themselves coming away from Tynecastle with no points. I'm going to go for a Hearts win. Let's say, I think Hearts will bounce back. I think Hearts are due a performance. I'm going to go Hearts 3, St Johnstone 0. That is my prediction in that one. Moving on, we've got Livingston versus Hibernian. Outside the old form, Hibernian are definitely the form team at the moment in the league. Livy's form has been patchy. However, they do get back to their home here. They are playing on the plastic pitch. That could have a big effect in this game. Hibernian away, I don't think they're as good on their travels as they are at home. Do I think Livy will get something out of the game? I do. The big question is, though, do I think they'll get a point, or do I think they'll get all 3? I'm going to give Livy the benefit of the doubt. And another thing is, like, I've watched a few of Hibernian's games lately. Even though they're winning, I don't necessarily feel like Hibernian are playing great. I think they're picking up results, but I don't think they're playing this like great football. I don't think they're blowing teams away. I think they've just been, you know, sneaking results, which is good. Which is good for them, you know, but I don't think Livy have anything to fear. I don't expect Hibernian to turn up here and blow them away. I'm actually going to go with a Livy win. I'm going to say Livy win this game by 2-1. Then we move on to Ibrox. It's Rangers versus Kilmarnock. Let's talk a little bit more about Michael Beale. So he's came in. He's promised us great football. In all honesty, we haven't seen it. Watching Rangers, and I've watched quite a few of their games since Michael Beale came in, it hasn't been pretty. Now, yeah, they've got the results, they've been beating teams. There's been some of the games have won by large margins, but more often than not, the performances haven't been great. I think we're still waiting to see this great, change of events at Rangers. They're still playing similar to the way they were playing when Gio Van Bronckhorst was there. The only difference I would say is they're actually picking up results. So, yeah, I don't know if we're going to get this great Rangers performance today, but we know Kilmarnock's away form is shocking. It's the worst away form in the league. So, I mean, if Rangers are going to turn up, it could be today. It might be today. And Michael Beale recently coming out with those comments, basically, it sounded like excuses to me. It sounded like Michael Beale making excuses, saying that it's hard to compete with Celtic with the financial gap, and Rangers can't spend, loads of money. And that he said normally the team that spends the most money wins the league. And it's like, really, Michael Beale? Is that the road you're going to go down? I just think that's lame. I honestly think that's lame. And I never remember Gerrard coming out and making statements like that. When Gerrard was at Rangers, I don't remember him coming out and saying, "Oh, you know, I can't compete. Celtic are going to do 10 in a row because financially, you know, we're not on the same level." No, I never seen that for Gerrard. So I do find it strange that Michael Beale has come out and said that, and he's come out and said it after the Scottish League Cup defeat. He didn't come out and say it when he took the job. He didn't say it when he was number 2. He hasn't said it after the Old Firm draw in the league. I do find it a little bit strange that he waited until after losing the Scottish League Cup before coming out with that. I don't think it was necessary. I think it might even be just trying to deflect the blame for the Scottish League Cup final. Let's be real, Rangers were not great. A lot of people think Michael Beale got his tactics and got his selection wrong, and I feel like instead of him coming out and admitting that, maybe that's what he should do, but it doesn't look like he's appearing to do that. He's come out and he spoke about how he needs to trim the squad and that they don't have money and that he can't financially compete with Celtic. So I'm not sure that's what Rangers fans want to hear, but I'll give you something you might want to hear. I do think Rangers will win today. I think they will beat Kelly by quite a decent margin, to be honest. I'm going to go with a 3-1 Rangers win. So yeah, I'm going to go Rangers 3, Kilmarnock 1. Then we move on to Ross County versus Motherwell. Bit of a relegation clash this. Motherwell have a 4-point lead over County. I do expect that 4-point lead though to turn into a 1-point lead, because I think Ross County and Dingwall will get the win. I do. I think Stuart Kettlewell has come in. He's got results from Motherwell. I'm not sure I agree with the appointment though. I'm not convinced that Stuart Kettlewell's the man. Now I get it, he's picked up 7 points out of 9. That is an amazing points tally for a team down the bottom of the table. And they've gave him the job, and you know what, maybe rightfully so. But I do believe that it's more of a new manager like boost rather than, you know, great tactical genius from Stuart Kettlewell. And I think his unbeaten run might come to an end today. I'm going to go with Ross County winning this game by, we'll go 2-1. I do think Ross County will get the win here. And now, last but not least, I think we're moving on to the biggest game here on the Saturday. Obviously, it's Celtic versus St Mirren, I believe, on Sunday. But for the Saturday 6 o'clock kickoff, got Dundee United, Aberdeen, the New Firm Derby. The last time these teams played in the New Firm Derby, 6 o'clock kickoff, I believe it was a 4-0 win for Dundee United. Now, I don't think it will be the same scoreline this time around, but I do think the result will remain the same. I'm going to go with Dundee United beating Aberdeen. I'm going to go with Jim Goodwin getting one over, getting the result, getting the victory over his former team, and basically just sticking it to them, just being like, fuck you guys for getting me sacked. So yeah, I'm going to go with a win for Jim Goodwin, and I'm going to say Dundee United win this game by 3-1. Yes, you heard it here first, guys. I'm going Dundee United 3, Aberdeen 1. That is my prediction for that one. And we'll do the Sunday game as well. Screw it, why not? It's a weekend of action, so let's get into it. St Mirren versus Celtic, 12 o'clock kickoff Sunday in Paisley. Can Celtic bounce back? Will they defeat St Mirren? I believe they will. I don't think it'll be easy. I don't think they'll blow them away by any means, but I do think Celtic will marginally get the win. I'm going to go with a 2-1 victory in Paisley. I think St Mirren will put up a good fight, but in the end, I do think Celtic will be just too strong for them. I do think Celtic will get their revenge, and I do think they will maintain their 9-point gap at the top of the Scottish Premiership. Anyway, guys, that's the predictions here. That is the preview for this weekend's action in the Scottish Premiership. So looking forward to all these games, and it won't be long before the national team is back in action as well. So looking forward to seeing the Scotland national team playing some football again. I almost forgot. It's almost like Scotland have ceased to exist. I forgot who Stevie Clarke was for a minute, man. It feels like it's been ages since we've seen the national team play. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Scotland, and hopefully we get a good weekend of action here, guys, in the SPFL. Anyway, that's it for Fog Football. I'll be back tomorrow. Probably will be reviewing the Dundee United Aberdeen game. Going to watch that one for sure. I think it'll be an interesting watch. So yeah, looking forward to that 6 o'clock kickoff. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens across the 4 divisions. But that's it, guys. Catch you next one. Until then, been Fog Football. Thanks for watching and peace.